I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 134, Army Men Air Combat. Released in 1999, this game was developed and published by 3DO. We previously played Army Men Sarge's Heroes back at Game 82, and well, it didn't age so hot. Hopefully this one is a bit more fun. I'm telling y'all though, there are a weirdly high number of helicopter games on this console. I mean, generally it's pretty fun to fly around and blow things up, so I kind of get it. I'd never really seen or heard of this game before this challenge, so I basically knew nothing going in. Let's get into it. When you turn the game on, it tells you the game's story, as bare bones as it is. The Tan Army is mobilizing their forces again, and we, the Green Army, are not cool with that. Sarge is going to help their air troops, known as the Alpha Wolf Squadron, put a stop to this. The game has a single-player campaign mode, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. When you load up a mission, it gives you some intel about it, as well as the copter and pilot you'll be using. For this first mission, General Plastro of the Tan Army is working on developing a new type of weapon. He'll need a large supply of plastic to create it, so he's trying to steal ours. I'm supposed to take it and transport it somewhere else. The helicopter I'm in is called the Huey, which is really fast with okay weapons and armor. I don't think the co-pilot matters, but there's a few you can choose from with some backstory about them. Into the gameplay now. As you might expect, you're flying a copter around. This game features some serious auto-aim, which is pretty nice for casual gameplay. There's a basic machine gun with infinite ammo and some stronger missiles that are more limited. A common thing you do in this game is use the winch to grab things from the ground. Like in this level, I had to use it to transport the plastic supplies they were talking about earlier. However, by this point I was too busy trying to knock over the troops with the box. It was funny, but not very useful. I'd say it's near impossible to lose this first mission. There's a few enemies and the ones that are there aren't very strong. Once I'd actually transported the plastic to the portal, it said I beat it. Now that we've secured the plastic, it's time to stop the Tan Army's supply chain. There are vehicles transporting plastic in the area, so we're going to destroy their garages. That way they've got nowhere to park. Still piloting the Huey for this one. This mission really changes up the environment. We're just in someone's backyard with bags of soil on the ground and even some bees to blow up. The idea behind these Army Men games is how a kid would play with the real Army Men toys, just like in their yard or in the room or something like that. It's pretty cool. There's even a sprinkler watering the grass that deals heavy damage if you fly near it. The winch can also be used to pick up ammo and armor upgrades scattered throughout the level. I encountered my first instance of turrets in this mission, and these things are rough. For whatever reason, it takes quite a while to blow them up, and they pack a punch if they hit you. Still though, this wasn't all that hard of a level. Once I destroyed the last garage, the mission was beaten. Now into mission 3, Plastro has changed tactics. With no plastic to use to build weapons, he's stealing our weapons. A Tan helicopter has stolen the power source from our best tank, so we've got to destroy the chopper and get it back. Still in the Huey. I thought this was going to be some insane battle, but nah, I blew up their helicopter in literally like 2 seconds. Well, guess that was easy. I placed the power source behind the train and now it was on the move. This thing looks like Thomas the Tank Engine. From this point, it's a simple escort mission to make sure the train safely arrives at the end. There's plenty of hazards to remove from the tracks to help, you know, like apples. Luckily for me, this is way easier than that train mission from GTA San Andreas. Another level down. Now that we've rescued our main tank, it's time to go on the offensive. The Tan Army have created their own helicopter squadron, and that's totally not cool. I want to show them who's boss, as well as protect that tank. So there's these hangars scattered around the map, and I had to blow them up. They were heavily fortified, but it didn't matter. Honestly, this game's incredibly easy up to this point. There was absolutely no trouble. Another mission down. This time it said a new green copter had arrived after winning. Now into mission 5, General Plastro has lost his mind. He's mutating the local bugs into monsters to stop us. My job is to free these bug monsters and watch them kill all the Tan troops. The new copter I gained is called the Chinook. It's slower but has significantly more armor. So yeah, the mutated bugs are in these biohazard boxes. bunch of big old disgusting things. They really did obliterate the tan bases they were near though. The Chinook definitely felt slow, but man, I didn't have to worry about my health at all. I'm just tanking 2 missile turrets like they're nothing. After I'd freed all the terrifying insects, the mission was beaten. Easy peasy. Now we've learned the Tan Army is constructing a new super toy. We've not been able to launch an attack though due to attacks from both the Tan Army as well as the indigenous ant forces. I've got to distract the ants and destroy the Tan base. A new objective showed up here saying if I lose 1 base, it's game over. This mission was at least a bit challenging. Our base was on a picnic blanket and there was leftover food and drinks everywhere. This caused ants to swarm on our location. As far as I know, you can't destroy the anthill. This creates a scenario where I had to fend off the ants for a bit, then destroy some tan buildings, then repeat. It was nice to have to slightly strategize, but still it was very easy. Now on to mission 7, one of our green bases within tan territory has discovered a new tan super toy. They found themselves surrounded, but they have a supply of cherry bombs available. I need to use those to save them and retrieve the toy. So this one has a green base in the center of the map with forces swarming in from all directions. The main thing to do here is take the cherry bombs from the base and drop them on the anthills, preventing them from spawning. I know I haven't really talked about the controls in this very much, but that's just because it's so simple. The helicopter can't change its elevation, only move along one plane. You can shoot the basic gun or shoot missiles and operate the winch. That's pretty much it. It makes the game feel a bit lacking, but also makes it incredibly easy to pick up as a newcomer. It wasn't very difficult to keep the base from being destroyed. I had a lot of time to react to their attacks. Once I'd blown up all the anthills, I retrieved the toy, which appeared to be a flying saucer, and I had beaten another mission. Stealing that UFO has made Plastro livid. He's launched an all-out assault on the green Alpine base. I need to stop the onslaught and protect our new toy. So the difficulty is slowly ramping up here. This level has 4 bases scattered across the level with mountains blocking you from crossing the middle. Every so often a portal will appear and many tan troops come from within. The Huey is the way to go here because if you're not able to move around quick enough, you'll definitely lose. Lucky for me, the bases themselves have minimal defense systems in place and the UFO is flying around helping out too. I'll take this time to talk about the graphics and music. The music is, I don't know, it's there? It's definitely nothing memorable, but I guess it isn't exactly bad. The graphics are pretty poor as well in my opinion. They don't really look all that appealing, but the game does run smooth. It seems like a conscious decision to sacrifice looks for performance, which I can appreciate. Most of these missions have lasted only a couple minutes, but this one lasted nearly 10, by far the longest one. Nonetheless, I knocked it out first try. It said the UFOs inspired a new helicopter, and that's exciting. Now into mission 9, Sarge has apparently located the Tan Army's top 3 scientists. They were working on something evil and now they want out. Sarge is going to free them from compounds and I need to extract them safely. The new copter I obtained is called the Super Stallion. It apparently has increased armor and weapons with the same speed as the Huey. This level got nuts. There were these huge boats that shot missiles the entire time I was near them. Not to mention the upgraded turrets that shot a huge missile when I destroyed them. It was finally time that I had my first death. To my surprise, it just let me continue the level as if nothing had happened. That's generous. It didn't really matter much though, because I kept taking chip damage and died to the local dragonfly population. Dude, I swear, dragonflies are one of the scariest looking insects, but honestly they're pretty chill. This time it did not let me continue. I guess you're just given one death as a mulligan. Every so often in this level a scientist appears and you have a short time to save him. If you don't, I think they get vaporized by a magnifying glass. Ouch. With barely any health to spare, I grabbed the final prisoner I needed, escaping by a thread. This was the first level that actually gave me a challenge. Now the Tan Army is running thin on troops, so General Plastro has brought out a mind control machine to make the troops join the Tan side. My goal is to bring our men back to their senses before he's stolen 30 of them for his super battleship. Towards the start of this one, there are these 3 giant missile launchers lined up next to each other. It's so hard to dodge them, and if all 3 hit you, you take insane damage. I hate these things. Little did I know, just past those 3 were like a billion more missile launchers. Holy crap, man, what am I supposed to do? Really, the only thing I could find to do here is take a death, giving me temporary iframes. With that, I could take them down despite getting blown up earlier. This machine Plastro was using is diabolical. Our good green troops are being dropped into a pile of tan paint. He must have used these nearby tan crayons to make it that color. I gave Plastro a taste of his own medicine by putting a green crayon on the machine. This caused it to print green troops instead. An absolutely ingenious plan. For some reason, this caused the super battleship to just disappear. I guess they didn't code an animation for it exploding. Mission complete. Now it's mission 11. The Tan Army is working on their latest super weapon. Since we've got their scientists, they can't produce any new ones, so this is their last hope. A Tan copter is transporting a suspicious teddy bear down the River of Sorrow, and I need to capture it. The helicopter with the bear got blown up within 3 seconds of the level starting. From there, it's just a slow auto-scroll as the bear drifts down the river. It was a nice break from the tougher levels before. I knocked this one out with ease. Well, apparently now that we've stopped the Tan Army's super weapons, we see this as a good time to move on to their Arctic base. Our radar has been disabled in the area, so I need to bring it back online. The teddy bear is running around in this one. I'm assuming it's helping me kill the troops, but it just looked broken to me. Basically, I had to fly around the map and find these green battery packs. If I placed them next to the broken radar dishes, they would come back online. It was honestly very easy. But was the worst yet to come? Now mission 13, the Tan Army has launched a counteroffensive on our base in the playground. They were attacking with RC cars, which is a force unlike any we've seen before. So there's these big sandbox arenas where the RC cars are going nuts. Anything they touch just explodes, and that's not good. It takes forever to destroy them, so the way to go is definitely blowing up the controller. This stops them in their tracks, then it's smooth sailing. Look at them just sitting there helplessly. I'm not sure how one controller was moving all these cars at once, but whatever. Nearing the end now, we've apparently located General Plastro's stronghold. Before we can assault it, we need a new helicopter, the Green Apache. 6 pieces of it are scattered in the area, so I gotta gather them. There's 6 pink dots on the map representing each piece. The Tan Army are bringing out all the stops now, mostly just missile launchers. Even some of the regular troops are carrying bazookas this time around, and they have shields on their backs. I found a sneaky little strat to dodge the firework launchers here, which made this game much more feasible. Moving back and forth as the missile moved towards me caused it to get lost and miss me entirely. With this, I had barely enough health to grab the last piece. Mission 15 now. Unfortunately, while we were assembling the Apache, Sarge and his troops were captured by Tan forces. I've got to clear a path for them to escape from the base, because if he dies, we'll never get to play Sarge's Heroes 2. There's 3 troops I've got to escort here, and annoyingly, they all decide to split up and take 3 separate paths. It'd be way easier to save them if they all went the same way, but whatever. My strat here was just zoom around the entire level and kill every tan and blue thing I saw. I had the Apache this time around, which made things easier as well. Sometimes the troops would just get ambushed by a billion tan enemies. I have no idea how they didn't die. Guess Sarge is just that good, huh? Well, maybe he's not good enough. He got surrounded by literally 4 helicopters at once and died. I don't know why the game doesn't give you any kind of warning that this is going to happen, but whatever. The next time around I babysat the troops a bit more and was able to knock it out. It's time for mission 16, the grand finale. Plastro is only left with his personal guard, so he's unleashed his ultimate weapon. We're not sure where he found this thing, but it's headed for the junkyard. Time to put an end to his army once and for all. So there's this big robot that kinda looks like Optimus Prime strolling around the area, and it packs a punch. I couldn't blow it up normally, so I had to disable its power source. There are 4 batteries scattered around the arena, and every now and then a truck with a cherry bomb will spawn. Dropping one of these next to the batteries blows it up, and it's the only way to win. After disabling the power supply, it could no longer move. It could still shoot its weapons though, and I was dead. Right at the end too, man. The next attempt went much better though, and Plastro's ultimate weapon was defeated. It just shows some pictures of us blowing up the robot, and that's all you really get as an epilogue. The credits are just available at any time from the main menu. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it, my journey to beating Army Men Air Combat. I went into this expecting a decent game, and that's about what I got. The controls are extremely simple, and you can master it within a few minutes. I'd say the missions get pretty repetitive feeling. And the game is also fairly short. There's nothing really outstanding about this one looks or sound wise either. The campaign in this can be played in co-op, so that's probably the way to go with this one. By yourself, it's a bit bland, but it's definitely not a bad game. I gave it a 4 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 3 out of 10 for difficulty. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. 256 left on the list. 3, 2, 1. Go. 173. What's that? Oh, we are playing Pokemon Snap, a game that everybody loves and I don't love that much, but all right. It has been decided. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.